is a tangle.
Come here, baby. I've missed you so much. Hey guys, I'm Cameron and welcome back to my channel where we sip tea and also spill the tea as I talk about some of my favorite reads. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all of my mini fictional book boyfriends. Who needs a real life boyfriend when you have a fictional boyfriend? Not me. Anyways, in this video I'm going to be talking about 8 of my book boyfriends. I do have more because I am a
man's lady.
I'm a player. I'm a player because when it comes to my book boyfriends, the more the merrier. You know what I mean. All these book boyfriends offer me something amazing, so I can't just be limited to one. Okay, in this video I'm going to be talking about 8 special gentlemen in my life, or more like my fictional life. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So my first book boyfriend is Kellen Kyle from Thoughtless by S.C. Stevens. First of all, he's a rock star. He can sing, he can play the guitar. That's sexy all in itself, but not only is he sexy in the outside and is he sexy in his singing voice, but he's also sexy in the way that he approaches relationships. He is just such a sweet guy and he's so romantic. And when I say romantic, I truly mean, like, whenever I think about all of my book boyfriends, like, he takes a cake when it comes to being the most romantic. And that is because at one point in the series, he had to leave our main character for a prolonged amount of time. And during that time, he wrote her letters, like hundreds of letters that he hid in places that he knew that she frequents, only she would find. And that is places like the chair that she sits in college, in her classroom. He would hide a letter there, and then he would hide a letter in the apartment that they share. He would hide a letter at the bar that she works at, and it's just so sweet. I mean, for all of my book babes out there, like, there's just something so beautiful about the written word, and for a man to go out of his way and write all of these letters, pouring his heart out for the woman that he loves, like, that is just the most romantic thing I could ever think of. Like, who needs text messages and late night calls and whenever you can have good old-fashioned letters? Like, that's just something that will always be so sexy to me and so romantic. So give me a man like Kellen Kyle any day, because not only can he sing, not only is he romantic, but he's passionate, he's loyal, and he's just literally the whole package. So if you want to fall in love with Kellen Kyle, then read this book and, gosh, get back to me and tell me if you were as in love with him as I am. My second book boyfriend is Adrian Ivashkov from the Bloodline series. What I like about Adrian Ivashkov is that he is so humorous. I love his sense of charm, and he's just somebody who it's so easy to fall in love with him. And the other thing that I like about him is that he's a party boy. He has his issues and he's so human at the same time. Like, that's what draws my interest into him even more, because throughout the series we're introduced to all these problems that he's struggling with, but it's so amazing to see him as he grows from the boy he is to the man that he becomes throughout these books. There's not enough words for me to describe the man that is Adrian Ivashkov. He is charming, he's passionate, he is funny, and he's also just such a kind person as well. The sexiest thing to me about Adrian Ivashkov is his loyalty, because throughout the book series, Sydney Sage and Adrian Ivashkov, they definitely have their problems that they face when it comes to them getting together. And Adrian does not back down from a challenge whatsoever. If anything, he tries harder to be the best man that he could be so that he could be the man that sweeps Sydney Sage off of her feet. And let me just say, he doesn't just sweep Sydney Sage off her feet. He swept me off my feet whenever I was reading this. I literally stayed up so late in the evening so that I could get better acquainted with the man that is Adrian Ivashkov, and I have reread the Bloodline series so many times just for my man because, oh my gosh, like, Rochelle Mead, she just writes the best male characters ever. She writes the best book boyfriends. In every book that I've read from her, all of the men in her books are just swoon worthy. They are so swoon worthy. I'm telling you, Rochelle Mead is a goddess. My third book boyfriend that I'm going to be talking about today is Pierre from The Hunt by Frost K. So he's actually my newest book boyfriend on this list. I just read this book, The Hunt, this month, and I am going to be talking about this book in my August wrap-ups. So be sure to check that video out once I release it because I'm going to be talking so much about my love of Pierre, and he's definitely going to be featured in some of my upcoming videos as well. Now, Pierre, or Perry, or, so I don't really know how to pronounce his name. It's P-Y-R-E, and I'm guessing it's Pierre, but maybe it's Perry. But I'm just going to stick with Pierre because to me, like, I think Pierre is such a sexy name in general. Like, I don't know what it is, like, Pierre, like, I feel like I have to say it with an accent because that name just sounds like it deserves a person with an accent to pronounce it. Like, I can't imagine his name being Perry, because no offense to any Perrys out there, but I don't know. I don't get romantic vibes when I hear the name Perry. I can't imagine myself pulling a man into my arms and saying, "Come here, Perry. Look into my eyes, Perry." Like, I don't know, Pierre sounds so much better. But anyway, when I was first introduced to him, I was so awestruck. I loved the first impression that I got from him because he was so funny and charismatic, and he was just cracking so many jokes. Like, he just made me laugh, and he's a very smooth and witty character. But his attitude definitely goes up and down throughout the book. Like, there's at one point where he was so charming and handsome, but then there was other times when he was angry and dark and moody. He's like your typical broody character, but at the same time, that's what I like about him because you never know what you're gonna get from him, and he's just a very big mystery. But what I also like about him is that, first of all, he's a redhead. He has wine-colored hair. That's how the author describes him as looking. I don't know what it is, but to me, a ginger is just so beyond attractive. I love my redheads. They're just hot. They're hot, and I love it. And our man Pierre is definitely a redhead, and I adore it. And what I like about him is that in this book, he is working for the rebellion, and he is somebody who believes in his cause, and he'll do anything to achieve what he believes is good. And at the same time, he does things that would be seen to others as being wrong, but he does it for a good reason. And let me just say, like, I like my morally ambiguous characters. To me, like, it's just kind of hot. I don't know what that says about me, but let's just get it out there. I like a bad boy, okay? And Pierre, he's definitely a bad boy, but he has a heart of gold, and he's just trying to do what's best, and I like that about him. So he's hot, he's moody, and he's charming at the same time. So I'm telling you, you have to read The Hunt because I absolutely adore him, and I love him, and he's amazing. I wish I could pull him out of this book and have him for myself. Like, I would be the happiest girl on earth if I could date him. So yeah, he's definitely my newest book boyfriend. My fourth book boyfriend is Dex Foray from the Experiment in Terror series by Miss Karina Halley. Now, let me just say this. I was telling you how Pierre from The Hunt is a very moody character, but oh my gosh, Pierre is like a soft, lovable kitten compared to this man. This guy, Dex Foray, is so rough and he's so moody and unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get when you're reading this book. So Dex is just somebody who at one moment he's happy, but at other times he's upset for no reason in particular. And I definitely, like, there were moments that I did not like Dex whatsoever. Like, I don't like the way that he treated our main character at some points in the book, but at the same time, the things that he does for this character is so kind and it definitely redeems him. Now, in this series, it follows Dex and Perry as they are filming a paranormal ghost hunter type of web series, and in each book they go to a new type of haunted situation. What I love about Dex is that he is not afraid of danger whatsoever, and when there are some people who will run for the hills at the sight of something beastly, Dex freaking runs towards the beasts and he confronts them head on. And that is just something that I respect so much, because bravery to me is one of the most attractive features in a man. And what I also like about Dex is that he does everything that he can to protect our main character, but at the same time he doesn't coddle her. He doesn't act like our main character can't take care of herself, and they just build such a great friendship that I admire. What I also like about Dex is that he's not a good guy. He has his qualities that are just not attractive, but he also has other qualities that completely redeem him as a man. And Dex is just the kind of guy where you're not gonna like him when you first meet him, but as you keep on reading about him in the series, you start to fall in love with him. And he is not your everyday Prince Charming, but he is something extraordinary, and that is Dex Foray for me, and that's why Dex is definitely one of my all-time favorite book boyfriends. So my fifth book boyfriend is the one, the only, Percy Jackson from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, aka The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Percy Jackson, there's just not enough things that I can say to describe how wonderful he is to me, because first of all, The Lightning Thief is the first book series that truly made me fall in love with reading. So Percy Jackson is definitely my very first book boyfriend. So whenever I think about him, like, I just get the sweetest butterflies and all these warm feelings in my chest and in my heart, because I just love him, and it's just so nostalgic for me to be able to talk about Percy. Plus, the actor who played Percy Jackson in The Olympians, guys, he's so hot. I would do anything to meet him in person. But let's actually talk about Percy Jackson as he was in the book series. So I did read this book a long time ago, so I can't exactly describe everything that I truly adore about him in detail because it's been so long since I've read about him. But what I can say is that Percy Jackson is brave. Percy Jackson is also an unlikely hero. He is somebody who was seen as an outcast at his school, but he has this amazing destiny laid out in front of him that he confronts head on. And that's what I like about him. I like reading about an unlikely hero, about somebody who is thrown into a situation that they never thought they would ever have to confront, and he just does such a great job at being not just a great friend to all of the people in the story, but he's also just a hero. And who doesn't like a hero? So where I was saying that Dex Foray, not your average Prince Charming, Percy Jackson to me, he is my knight in shining armor. If that knight in shining armor could wield water and had epic powers, like, just, he is my Prince Charming, and I love him. That was to Percy, by the way. Oh my gosh, I'm making a fool of myself. Okay, my 6th book boyfriend on the list is Bones, aka Crispin, from the Halfway to the Grave. It's the Night Huntress series by Miss Janine Frost. Guys, Bones is so hot. So if you don't know, Bones in this series is a very bad, very sexy and dangerous vampire. Let me just say, Bones reminds me so much of Spike. Let me describe Bones to you, and you will see the comparisons come to life between him and Spike. So, first of all, Bones is British. Bones has platinum blonde hair. Bones is dangerous, and he is the bad guy. Bones is not a good guy. He's not your Prince Charming. He is a villain of sorts. But, so, if that does not remind you of Spike, then I don't know what will.
So guys, I'm sorry if my lighting isn't of the best quality right now. My camera ended up dying, so I had to charge my battery for a good 35 minutes, and it's gotten later in the day, and I do use a lot of natural lighting for my filming, so if it's a little darker here, then let's just suit it for our romantic, sexy mood that we're trying to set here as I talk about my super sexy and attractive book boyfriends.
Before my camera died, I was talking about Bones from Halfway to the Grave, and I just want to truly sum up this sexy man by saying that he is not your typical hero. He does not ever say that he's a good guy at all. In fact, he talks about how he is not the good guy. He is somebody who does bad things all throughout the series, and he doesn't care that he's bad, and that's what I like about him in a way. I was just saying how I like bad boys, and Bones is definitely a bad boy, but at the same time, everything that he does, it's to help the people that he loves and the people that he cares about, and if he has to do bad things for the people that he loves, then he doesn't think twice about it, and that's what I truly admire about him. Man, like, he may not be Prince Charming, but he's every bit the sexy and dangerous vampire of my dreams, and let's just say I dream about him a lot. He's definitely dream-worthy, guys. The 7th book boyfriend on the list is Tristan from Bad Things by R.K. Lilly. Guys, here's another one of my bad boys. I feel like I'm starting to have a pattern here. Like, I truly like the bad boys, you guys. And it might be because I am a good girl, and typically I don't look for a bad boy in my real life relationships, but man, I fulfill that bad boy craving by reading all of the naughtiest, sexiest bad boys that I can think of. At the very beginning of the book, Tristan says how he is a good time kind of guy. He is somebody who he is looking for a no strings attached relationship, and he's honest enough to tell all of the women who he's with that that's just the type of guy that he is. He's not looking for anything serious. He's not looking for a committed relationship. And it's that honesty that I truly like about him. I just admire that he's not somebody who plays with words, and he's not somebody who pretends to be someone who he's not to try to fool women into getting into bed with him. He's not like that whatsoever. He is honest and blunt, and I just find that very, very attractive in my male characters. And Tristan is all about honesty. What I also like about him is that he's so charming and he's so funny. I love the banter and the humor that is shared between our two main characters of Tristan and Donica. So if you like a guy who is naughty and charming and is completely honest and blunt, then you better read about Tristan, because he is just the complete bad boy package. Mwah. And he's quite a fine package indeed. My final book boyfriend is one of the hottest and sexiest book boyfriends who I've ever had the pleasure of reading about. And that is Rhysand from A Court of Thorns and Roses. So in the first book, we don't really get to know Rhysand that much. We only meet him towards the end, but throughout the series, we get to definitely be introduced to the enigmatic man that is Rhysand. And Rhysand is one of the best male characters who I have ever read. He is somebody who, he just has so many layers to his emotions. What he reminds me of is like an onion. And please, like, bear with me. I know this sounds like a weird comparison, but let me explain. So whenever we first meet Rhysand, he is kind of like a bad boy, and not the type of bad boy that you would like. He is arrogant, and I didn't get the best impression personally whenever I first was introduced to Rhysand. So let's just say Rhysand is like an onion in the way that in the outside, it's kind of, you don't get the best impression of him. He kind of is smelly and not that attractive. But, you know, as you peel back the layers, the several layers that are in an onion, and you chop it up and you use it as spices in a dish, onions just make everything better. And when it comes to Rhysand, as you pull back the layers that are a part of this man, you just start to realize that everything that makes him up is so amazing. And every new layer just introduces you to a fantastic and romantic man. All in all, Rhysand is the entire package. He is the whole meal. He's not just a whole meal, he is a whole buffet, and I can't get enough of him. Even when my stomach is full, I still want more of the one and only Rhysand from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So that was the end of my video. I hope that you enjoyed hearing me talk about all of the most scrumptious, sexy book boyfriends that I have encountered all throughout my years of reading. If you liked that video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I post new videos every week. So please comment down below and tell me who are some of your sexy book boyfriends. I'm so interested to know, because I would love to have some new and exciting dates with the book boyfriends that you mention down below. So if you excuse me, I have a date right now with one of my many book boyfriends. So time is of the essence. I'll see you next week.